Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers.
So while you guys are pouring, I'll tell you the story.
It's Isle
It
of
is good. It is a good cork pop.
Isle of Skye 25 year.
25 year. So Bob from the new chapter of the club and I went down to Kentucky to go buy bottles for them for the year. And we went to Total Wine and More, which if you know anything about Total Wine and More, they kind of have their own line of stuff that they do. But they kind of buy up bottle like brands and have their own brand kind of deal. Like this is ours. This is one that is not their brand, but is a brand that they bought into, essentially decided to bring in, that's not very common within the US. I mean, in fact, this is a 700 liter. I don't think it's a 750.
Correct. It's a 700.
Not the extra 50.
Right. So this guy's giving out free tastings, which is something they love to do. And they had a barrel pick for Scotch. And I was like, I love Scotch. Like, could I try that? He was like, well, what's your go-to Scotch? I was like, the smokier the better. I love Lagavulin. Lafroig is good. Like I love peaty. I love smoky. I love that. And he said, okay, full disclosure, you're not going to try our barrel pick. It sucks.
He said it sucked?
Yeah. And he goes, we're going to go over to this counter. I'm going to give you something else to try. And they had 3 offerings from Isle of Skye, but he offered us 2 without telling us what it was to begin with. So the first one was 18. So there's 12, 18, 25 is what they had. So he poured the 18, didn't show us what it was. We tried it and I was like, it's good. This is pretty good. He said, okay, well, would you buy it? I was like, yeah, I mean, I would say this is better than Johnny Walker Double Black. Like this has some smoke, some of that nice flavor that I'm looking for. I said, okay, here's the next one. Pulls this out and poured it. And I was like, this is like Johnny Walker Blue to me. Like, I don't know what else to compare this to. It's got some smoke. It's got some girth to it. It's got some oomph to it. This is pretty good. And he said, well, would you say it's single or blended? And I stood there and I go, well, based off of what I'm tasting right now, I would say probably like a single malt, but like Speyside, like very light, watery, very easy single malt. And he goes, I thought the same thing. It's blended. Okay. All right. Had to buy a bottle of this. Thankfully, we got it on sale because this is a 200 plus bottle. Yeah, 200 plus bottle for this. I got a few bucks off on sale. Yes.
So I missed the first part about Bob.
So Bob was there with us too because he's part of the new chapter, and so I was like, "Hey, you want to go down to Kentucky? We're getting bottles for the new chapter."
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
I missed that part. Yep.
So he tried the same thing I did. He ended up buying himself a bottle of this too.
Oh, really?
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because he was like, after trying it, he's like, yes. Like,
again, why it's so important for liquor stores to allow taste tests.
Yes, 1,000%.
You're a liquor store and you're not doing that, you're missing out.
Because Bob likes smoky. He likes the pipes. He likes that kind of earthy, full punch in the face flavor. And so he hasn't really gotten into Scotch, but he tried this. He's like, 1,000%. Like I will buy this. Like this is very, very friendly for a Scotch, especially if I like that smoky flavor.
And we said the name of it, Island Skye, right?
Yep. And the irony of this was I don't normally talk about the podcast or talk about the club to most workers at like liquor stores. I don't know why. It just feels weird.
You should work on that.
And well, because Bob was like, oh yeah, we're actually here for a club, and like he has a podcast too. That's normally what happens is whoever I'm with is like, oh yeah, he does this too, and they're like, oh really? So we said this, and the guy goes, okay, so I want you to talk about this and see if anyone wants this after trying it, because I guarantee they'll want to come and find this. Turns out, Total Wine and More, they have like staff picks that they do. This was his staff pick. So there was a bit of like, I think I'm pretty good at this. So I try to tell everyone to buy this bottle kind of thing. But yeah, that's the fun story behind that guy. I know nothing about this brand.
Okay. There isn't really a lot about the brand, but other than a super cool box
and a super cool website.
Yeah, and a really cool website.
They're great at advertising.
Mel Gibson.
I know, right? I don't like, yes, you should always go to the website. And so there's usually good information on there. But this one's an experience. I mean, and go on with your volume on and watch and get on there because it's like a movie intro. It's really cool.
Yeah, so, you're not going to appreciate it if your sound's off.
Yeah.
Sorry, what are you guys smoking right now?
So we are going to be smoking Peterson's Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, it smells like like toast.
Yeah.
Like you just pulled bread out of the toaster.
This is.
I was okay.
I think.
Yeah,
Same thing?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this is the first tin I ever purchased.
It's the first tin a lot of people purchase, and that's not always a good thing because this blend can turn people off of pipe tobacco.
I'm expecting some eggs and bacon. Like, what, are you guys not going to cook breakfast for us now?
This
That'd be
is
great.
one that I will dip into every now and then. The problem with it is it comes a little wet, and it really benefits with a little bit of drying time. We did not dry it tonight, so. But what it is Sherlock Holmes, Peterson Sherlock Holmes blend. It's kind of reminiscent of like what is spoken about in Sherlock Holmes stories. So it's not like the actual blend because he also smokes black shag and whatever else. But what it really, really is it's a blend that was smoked at that time period by a lot of people. And I'm trying to remember, it's Burley's and Virginia's, but the types of them is, hold on one second.
Which is kind of interesting. If you say it was smoked around that time, I think of like gas lanterns in like homes and like gaslit lantern streets. And this fits with that. Like, I think of like a pub during that time, and that fits with like
totally
within that pub feel.
Like a pub in the UK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Like underground
Right.
kind of. Yeah. It says it's a blend of orange and red smoking leaf, but basically it's Brazilian Burley. And it's a Virginia from Mysore. It's an Indian Virginia.
Okay.
So that's where you get the red and orange. Now, along with that, so it's basically a Weber, but along with that, they put a little citrus topping in there.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is, but there is a little bit of citrus, kind of orange, zesty kind of thing going on. But it is something that I really do enjoy from time to time. It's not quite an aromatic, but it's not an aromatic.
Right. And with the aging thing, like I said, I think this may have been one of the first tobaccos I ever bought. It's simply because I now have a pipe. It's called Sherlock Holmes. I should buy that. I mean, that's kind of just the way it. And so I know anything about tobacco or anything. And you're right. It burns. It's a little wet, and so it's kind of hard to keep lit, especially at the start. So I had it for a long time. I mean, I had it for probably a couple of years, and after you open it, it doesn't. The aging thing that we talked about with cellaring kind of goes away when you open these tins in particular. They're not airtight anymore, but they do dry out. So usually you can bring back tobacco after it's dried out. You can usually like still smoke it. It needs a little bit of care, but you can usually do it. But for this one, it made it better because it dried out and it burned a lot easier. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
Is it more wet because they finish it in something, or
I don't know if it's the topping that they put on it.
It's
maybe
most tobaccos. So what they do is they will add a propylene glycol or a humectant agent to any tobacco when it goes into the tin, and also a topping or whatever. Some certain ones have toppings, but what they do is they put that into the tin with the anticipation that it's going to be aged. That this basically, once that tin is sealed, it will last forever because if it ever pops, maybe it would go bad, but for the most part, it wouldn't, unless a lot of air got to it.
Yeah.
Also, like,
then it just dries out basically.
in 30, 40, 50, I mean, there's guys that smoke like 100-year-old tobaccos. Kid you not. And this stuff is still like kind of moist when they open it because it's been preserved. Right. Now, it will dry out eventually. And once it's opened, there's a shelf life, right? But in the tin, as long as no air is touching it, with that humectant, it will kind of retain its freshness. The way that you put peaches in juice in a can, right? If you just put peaches in a can with no juice, will that really keep? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But suspended in water, suspended in juice, this is kind of suspended in a humectant, whether that's a topping or not. Then also the topping itself adds a little bit of moisture, but eventually that will dry out. Some people like to keep it moist because then it'll last longer on their shelf. Some people open up and let the tin react to the natural air and then it'll dry. That's kind of how I do it. Some people directly dry it where they'll pull out bits of it or the whole thing and they'll just let the air exposed to it. So a lot of times things will benefit from a bit of a drying time. If you open up, like, say, that full Virginia flake and you really want to have a good smoking experience, I just opened up a tin, I might pull a flake out and let it sit on a paper towel or something for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to, rub it out or whatever, and I'll smoke it. And it'll be way drier. It'll be a better experience. But you want to keep it wet because it will last longer, if that makes sense. You don't want to dry it out unless you're going to smoke it, kind of. You can smoke it right out of the tin, like what me and Steve are doing it, kind of raw dogging it. but you're going to have a little bit of yeah. If you're, I knew you'd like that one, Micah. If
Not really sure about
you're gonna
that one.
you might not have a great time. You know what I mean? Like it's it could be a little bit more, but if you're a seasoned pipe smoker, you can get around it, right? But some people might think this is bitey or whatever. They might not have can't keep it lit. They might have a hard time.
One thing, I mean, I liked the smell of the previous smoke that you guys were smoking.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. I actually like the smell of the butane from your lighters more than this smoke right now. But I could see,
Yeah,
how
this one's
people-
not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's got the burley, so it's going to have a little bit more of that American tobacco. A lot of people would call that cigarette-y,
The cigarette, yeah.
but it's just American tobacco.
So you said the Scotch is Speyside?
So it's yeah, it's from. I think the company's from Speyside.
Okay.
The company, yes, the
understand
company is from Speyside, but this one on the front there, it says this is a blend of Ireland and Speyside scotches. So there is a little bit of peat in this. I haven't tried any yet, but there is some
On the
Islay.
tag, I don't know if it
Yeah,
talks more about it too.
There is also some Highland and some Speyside. So it's a kind of a combination of a bunch of different
But
scotches.
it's not like super peaty.
No. It's going to be just kind of in the mix there.
I like this one better than the monkey shoulder.
Okay, good.
And it's a lot
And
more flavorful.
now I'm questioning whether or not I'm not a Scotch person.
I am questioning
for
that
you.
as well.
Yes.
Right?
I think we
I
all
don't
might be
know.
questioning
I think
that
we
with
might, yeah.
that statement. Flavor, yeah. You like the flavor.
Yeah.
You're more
absolutely.
of a Scotch guy than you realize.
I know. I didn't know.
Do you like heavily smoked barbecue?
Yeah, actually. I have not had one thing that you've made that I haven't liked.
Okay.
So-
And I'm a heavy smoker for barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could it be that the monkey shoulder set the stage
Maybe.
and kind of led you along the path a little bit?
I'm telling you, it was a gateway.
There, it's a gateway.
Gateway Scotch
It
whiskey.
only took like 5 minutes and we got there.
know.
was a
didn't
short
take that
gate.
long. Sorry. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
it
all right.
cleansed the palate
This
the right
is
way.
your brain.
Right?
This is your brain on Scotch.
Yeah, that was from my
I learned
era.
it from watching you.
You, all right. I learned it by watching it.
As Chris likes to say, this is the canvas. The monkey shoulder was the canvas to your Scotch.
I could see that. Yeah, 100%.
It was a nice base.
So this is sidestepping slightly, but I noticed on the box it says blended Scotch whiskey. And if you notice, whiskey is spelled without an E because in Scotland, they do not spell whiskey with an E. And also, if you call whiskey in Scotland Scotch, they will punch you in the face.
Really?
I bet.
Really?
Yes. And if you spell it with an E, they will punch you in the face. I'm not joking.
They're aggressive people.
Right, they are. And but rightly so, right?
I feel like if you call Scotch or whiskey out there Scotch, they'll punch you in the face.
Yes.
I feel like if you spell it with an E, they'll punch you in the dick.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm getting. Like
They
But
would.
it's kind of like going to Mexico and being like, "Can we go to a Mexican restaurant tonight?"
You like all of the
Like,
restaurants?
shut the hell up, dude! Like, we are in Mexico, you idiot. Like, there's just food here. It's not Mexican
Right.
food.
It's called food.
But in America, we're like, it's Mexican food.
But here in America, we'd be like, hey, when I go to an American restaurant, let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah, everybody's like, we're not racist, but like, what do you want for dinner? Chinese? You want Chinese? Okay, what? Check yourself, America.
Yeah, check
food.
yourself.
I just want
Yeah.
food.
It should just be food at this point, right?
I just want a protein
I
of some
don't see
sort
food.
and a side.
I don't see.
But
just eat it. I don't see
Irish whiskeys are spelled with an E.
Yes.
And so apparently there is some sort of animosity from Scotch whiskey and Scottish whiskey and Irish whiskey and the E and the non-E.
I love how they put the E on the
So-
end of Skye, though, and they're cool with that. But don't you put that on whiskey.
Well, it's not Skye though. It's
Skye?
just
No,
Skye.
but maybe it's somebody's
I love
name.
Skye.
It's
Right.
Skye. Yeah, I listened to another podcast and the guy's name is Skye with an E.
We use E on the end of Skye. Bollocks. They're like, shit.
I had a roommate named Skye.
Skye. Oh, jeez.
Not
A guy,
Skyler?
and he was a guy on
It was a
top of
guy.
it.
It was a guy
I don't know
named
which one's
Skye.
worse, being named Skye or being a guy named Skye. That's even worse than like,
He was an interesting
That's a
character.
one-trick
He's
pony right there.
He's the only person that I've ever lived with outside of college that I didn't know. So I needed a roommate. We connected and
Steve's like, I did not choose him.
Yeah. Was this like through Craigslist?
Yeah, it was. This is Craigslist days. So yeah, it was. And we lived together for like 6 months or something. I had the apartment, and I wanted and we had the extra bedroom and stuff. So I needed a roommate. And
You got along with them pretty well.
I got along with him all right.
How were they?
He was somebody who was like perpetually high. He smoked a lot.
You can't get named Skye and not be.
Right. He also had like the worst case of ADD I've ever met in my life, and so the pot was really his medicine to help with that. But he was also just not very bright, and just didn't. There was times in his life that he's also one of those guys that's not very bright, does a lot of stupid things, but also always comes out smelling like roses. It comes out working for him every time. And he's still, to this day, we're still friends on Facebook, so I see him every once in a while. He's a sales guy and he's killing it.
It's like Matthew McConaughey in that one movie, like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, you got to pump up those numbers. Yeah, you got to pump up those numbers.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
It sounds like you're describing that guy all growing up.
Exactly. It basically was. But he got into a car accident. I found out later it was a hit and run perpetrated by him. But he got in this car accident and his hood would no longer stay shut, and it busted his radiator. So he got stuck. It got stuck beside the road or whatever, and he found his way home. But I was going to drive him to his car for the tow truck. And time doesn't mean anything to this guy. So because of that, meeting a tow truck driver on the side of the road, like, you kind of got to be there. They're not going to wait for you.
It's a scheduled visit.
Exactly. Yeah. He didn't think so. So we were about 20 minutes late and the tow truck driver long gone. So we were like, all right, well, this is like 45 minutes from home. So we're going to drive as far as we can. And then you can try again with somebody else, because I'm not going to drive you again.
20 minutes late's like, that's like 19 minutes too late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The tow truck driver, they don't wait for you. So we drive and we make it a pretty decent way, and before the radiator like kicks in, like no more. So we stopped and we're like, you know what? I bet we can make it home. Let's just wait here for a little bit, and I bet we can make it. So we popped the hood to let air out, and he didn't tie the hood back down because it doesn't latch. So he didn't tie it. So he's driving down the road, and his hood flies up, and he's in front of me. I'm behind because we were going to be driving with the tow truck. So I had a separate vehicle. So I'm behind, and we're going down like 42. Like, we're on like kind of a main road, and the hood flies up, and I see it. And so I started driving quite a bit farther back to wait for this to happen.
Off the gas. Yeah.
And, but I got the privilege of watching all the drivers do the double take after because he didn't stop. He kept driving. And so he was just looking out the little gap underneath the hood. And kudos to him, decent driver, because he stopped at red lights. He stayed in his lane, did all the things. He made it home with the hood up.
Oh my gosh.
Kudos to him for that. But I got to watch all the drivers as they
Okay. Has anybody seen Tommy Boy?
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's 100% Tommy
exactly
Boy.
that.
Sounds very much like it.
You can't latch the hood, selling waste of space. I swear to God, you're useless. Literally, that's exactly what I was thinking while you were telling that story. Oh my God.
At what point and in your brain are you like, I'm at a stoplight, I could probably put this down. Nope.
Now's my chance
Just keep going.
to rectify this situation.
Yeah, no, he stopped at a red light for like a good minute, and
You must have seen 0 cops on the way home.
Oh yeah. Luckily,
Okay, so I got to ask, is this guy married?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think he believes in. He
Even
probably
if
doesn't
he
believe
was,
in
he's
the
not anymore.
confines of a closed-ended relationship. He's probably more into like the open kind of.
At that time of his life, he was not very monogamous.
Okay.
So
Love is love.
But he was also younger than me, but it's still like 23, 24 kind of age range, and very much into the free
now
love.
it's Mr.
Probably.
Skye.
But yeah,
I had a roommate similar in brain concept of this guy, Dave
I know,
Flora.
I was going to say, kind of.
We called him
what was his
just
last
a little
name?
bit.
Flora.
Okay, I thought you said
Dave Ski.
fluoride.
We called him Dave Ski.
He did this thing where he's like just a little bit. He's also like definitely on the spectrum.
Oh, yes.
like 2 feet over the line in a good way though for that guy.
He taught us to put ski on the end of every word. Last word he'd said, he'd always put ski on it. So we called him Dave Skye because of this.
He never met a guy wasn't like friends with.
Yes. So he he came in one time just sick as dog. And he walked in the door and he looks at us and goes, I just threw up.
Just matter of fact.
And I was like outside, do we need to clean it? He goes, no, on the road. And I go, on the were you walking back from class? Like, what do you mean on the road? And he goes, no, I was driving. Okay, this story gets even more confusing as you tell me these things.
Every added detail is more.
Come on, it's like 4 guys that are sitting on the couch, all trying to figure out like what in the world is happening right now. And we're like, Dave, what do you mean you threw up on the road while driving? Like out of your window? No, I just opened up my door and leaned out and threw up while driving, not at a stop sign. Yeah, but I was going slow.
Cool. No, that's fine then.
Okay, cool. That's fine. And so that's the story of Dave. Like that is imprinted in my brain.
Gosh, that's amazing.
So very interesting guy.
We get a call. So Mary grew up in Toledo. We get a call from Dave Skye probably 2-3 years after we got married, still living in Indiana. And he goes,
after college.
yeah. And he goes, you guys would have still been a mom me at that time. And we get a call from him and he goes, hey Nick, is Mary there with you? Yeah, I put you on speakerphone because that'd be great. And so you put him on speakerphone. Hey Mary, do you know of anyone in Toledo that I could possibly live with?
Oh, I do remember that.
And we were like, what's going on, buddy? He goes, I think I might have got myself in a really bad situation. So I'm rooming with who I think is a drug dealer downtown Toledo. And Mary's like, yes, get out of there. Like, please get out of there.
The way he described it, I was like, that's
well, he described it. And then at the end of it, it was always like, but they're really nice people. Nope. You should probably find a different place to live. So then he takes off for Miami.
Wait, go on. Miami, Florida or Miami of
Florida,
Ohio?
Florida. And he's like close to downtown by the airport.
Like just randomly.
Yeah. So now he has his own golf cart service.
Like rental agency.
He'll like take you, it's a karaoke golf cart. And he'll pick you up from the airport and take you like downtown and you get to like do this karaoke in a golf cart. And I was like, that's Dave. That is Dave.
That's amazing.
That is good for him, man.
1,000%.
And he owns his business. Oh my gosh.
He does like his own taxi cab kind of thing with the golf cart. Yeah. I was like, that's
amazing.
Perfect. But
he landed on his feet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it fits his personality. I mean, I imagine that same guy opening the door and throwing up while driving slowly. That's what I imagine. That fits. Yeah.
Anybody that gets into sales, I feel like there's a lot of people in the sales world that just kind of meet this criteria of not being incredibly smart, doing some dumb things, but always coming out ahead.
Always.
Like it just works for them.
And nicest of people.
Like, it's not
because
not
everybody's
not
rooting for guys like that.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to buy something from a guy like that because you can relate to him a little bit.
But this bottle, I don't think he'd buy it.
Good segue.
This looks a little bit fancier than maybe something he would like.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking box.
I think he could sell this bottle.
Oh yeah, he could sell it.
I think those guys could sell this bottle.
Oh yeah,
but they wouldn't buy this bottle.
Also, it says blended Scotch.
It does.
It does not say blended malt Scotch.
I know. I caught the same thing. But if it's a 25-year-old and they're adding natural grain spirits, I'm going to be real pissed.
Right. Yes.
So,
and I mean, based off the flavor, I can't say that. Yes,
there's no way. There's just no way. It's just interesting that you brought that up. It's always going to be in my head as far as blended Scotch goes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the reason why people are like one of the reasons why people are so into single malts because you don't have to worry about it, right? It's kind of like bottle and bond. Now all of a sudden we don't have to worry about it. It's what it is, right? So
interesting to bring up. Hopefully for the age, it's not that. Now I know we probably can all agree $300, $200+ is a bit much for a bottle.
And that's steep for any bottle for most people's budget,
right?
Yeah. Is that the price tag of this guy?
Yes. Okay. So I can tell you right now. I can tell you here soon.
I think it's over 3.
But my whole point with that is we tend to look at pricing for bottles from a standpoint of bourbon. Right. So the idea that 25-year-old bourbons, that's not the youngest thing that's going in it. That's probably the oldest thing.
We've talked about this on the podcast before, that to remind everybody that with bourbon, the age statement is the oldest thing that they put in the bottle. With Scotch, the age statement is actually like the youngest. So there could be well over 25-year-old stuff in this. So again, that changes things when you're talking about a price.
So I got this for $140. That was on sale. It's $240.
$240. Okay.
So I got about $100 off of it.
Oh, actually, that's pretty good. That's better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And again, you tell me what bourbon you can get for 25 years old for that much. You cannot. So when people think Scotch is expensive, you got to put it in relative terms.
And also you got guys that for bourbon that will say after 18. So Elijah Craig 18 is perfect, or Elijah Craig 24 was perfect too, for that idea of over 18, by 18 to 24 range is oak. All they're like, it's too oaky. It's just all
that
oaky.
tells
It's
you
just so
something's
oaky.
like sucking on oak. Just don't listen to that guy. I think about my Redrick 24. I won't get into it, but just don't take people's word for it.
There's a difference in what you go after flavor wise when it comes to Scotch, right? Scotch to bourbon. And I feel like that also plays a role in your idea of price tag for years. Because if a guy that drinks bourbon goes 24 years old and is too oaky, wouldn't spend more than $80 on it because it's too much, they're going to look at a 25-year-old bottle of even whiskey, Scotch whiskey, and know it's not bourbon and still go, it's not worth the price tag. That's too expensive because all you're going to get is oak off of that, which I don't get that at all with this.
It's like saying that caviar is too fishy. Which, if you like caviar, it's just most people don't. But if you do, like me, you're like, what are you talking about?
It's fish. Like, what cracks me up is
how
like,
can that be too?
whenever someone's like, "Oh, this fish is too fishy," my response every time is, "It's fish."
I think it should be fishy.
Right, it's
The
fish.
stuff is aged in a wood barrel, and you don't want the wood flavor. Get out of here.
Right. Especially when we do New American Oak and you go too oaky. Well, that's kind of the wood
you're
we use.
sucking on
Yeah.
wood. Well, good. Maybe I want to suck on a little wood. Wait a minute. Strike that. Reverse it.
We're back to the deck.
This
Back
beef
to Mike's
tastes too
big bag.
cowy.
Right. Yes. Now, if your beef tastes fishy,
That's too much jerk in that beef stick.
That's right.
I don't like it to be that jerky.
So we're talking about the box. The box I feel like could sell itself though. I mean, it like that is that's great packaging right
It
there.
really
Like the guy
is.
doesn't need to sell it.
right. It's beautiful. Yeah.
The 18-year version of this also has a similar box style. Anything younger than that, they scrap the fancy box. But they have a 30-year-old also. So they do have one older than this that is now, or I think it's 31 year actually. But yeah, so they do have one more above this now.
Which is actually very reasonable on the price.
Yeah.
When you're talking about something aged this much.
It's cheaper than Johnny Walker Blue.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about something
For what you got it for. MSRP is a little bit higher, but
again, going back to like giving this as a gift, which Scotch is given as a gift to a lot of people, but I think that is very affordable.
$240 for a 25-year-old is, I mean, I can see where that price tag comes in. I can understand that a
If
little
you
bit.
do the math on the years, it adds up. But it's got good flavor.
Yeah.
And it's not too. I don't think it's too pungent. What do you think, Micah?
No, like this is one of those that. So I like this actually better than the monkey shoulder.
And it's got more flavor.
Yeah,
But it's
absolutely.
not
Yeah, and
overbearing.
No, not at all. And that's what I was worried about. I think because maybe I just had too many like smoky, peaty Scotch whiskeys, and maybe that was what my brain remembered. And
It's almost like the idea that Scotch is the old man's drink, right? When we think of like old people, I think of like potpourri. I think of like pine needle. I think of gin. I think of like
Pungent.
yes. I think
Smells
pungent
and
like
flavors.
I told my dad this the other day. I think one of the reasons why I love smoking meat and intense smoke for meat is because my grandparents had a fireplace in their house. They had a stove in their house, and that thing was running 24/7 at max capacity. It was 80, 90 degrees in the house, and he was still cold.
Yeah,
so like,
even outside in the
Yeah,
summertime.
and
you're talking about the black ones that have like
yeah, and the front has almost like
and you open
a
the
wood-
yeah,
it's called a wood burning
Yep.
stove.
Yes, yeah.
It opens from
my
the side and
grandparents did
comes
too.
down. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
So-
really good memories actually, and
And the
that
smell.
smell.
Oh, that
Yes,
smell
yeah.
is like intense wood smell.
Yep,
Like it
I
is
love that.
intense wood burning, intense smoke. And I love that smell. But I also pair that smell with old people. Like the old man's drink is going to be that. And it isn't always that, but that's the first thing I go to of like, ooh, this is going to be pungent. This is going to be like intense. And if you don't like that, like if you don't share that same memory, you're probably not going to look at that and go, yay, let's have that. Like that's exciting, you know?
Right. Well, I think, Micah, you bring up a good point, and something for us to think about is for a lot of non-Scotch drinkers, I think too, especially what you're given as a non-Scotch drinker is like, oh, this is amazing. You got to try this. Oh, this is almost the gimmicky scotches, because we've gotten to a point where like if you drink Scotch a lot, you're kind of comfortable with it. So you kind of want to reach for like the crazy stuff. But you forget that a lot of good Scotch is actually just really good whiskey with some of the Scotch component, like the components we're talking about. That's what this is. This is actually just really good whiskey with some of the Scotch-esque components. Right. It's not gimmick. It's not a gimmicky, overly peated, overly smoked, overly this, that, or the other. But what I do get on this is a really well done like whiskey with some Scotch components. And I think that's something to remember when people, like you said, you've had so much Scotch lately that's kind of like gimmicky from the way you're explaining it. And that does happen to people, that you forget that there's a lot of good Scotch out there that is just good whiskey without the E, right? Something to think about. What do you think, Steve? How's it doing with the pipe?
It's going really well with the pipe, I think. I wish I would have taken a drink before I lit up to see how much this is altering the glass for me. But I really enjoy the whiskey. It's not as sweet as the monkey shoulder was. It still has some sweet components. It's still a little bit flowery or whatever, but with a little bit of depth. There's been a forest fire that has gone through beforehand. This is the flowers coming out of it. So, there's a little bit of that still there. And this pipe tobacco is also a little bit more stout. It's a little bit more burly. So you mentioned like cigarette-y a little bit.
Yeah,
and
nutty American kind of
exactly.
earthy.
Yeah, so they're going together pretty well with that.
Yeah, because I think the Scotch is a little bit more green, what I get. More new life green, right? And then the burley, I've always considered burley to be like fresh, not green, but like that American kind of fresh earth, dirt, soil.
Okay.
And nuts. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not new, but not old. Very much in the middle of the prime of its life. And I think that kind of goes along with, if anything, like even though this is 25 years old, it's almost like that burley component is giving the base, the age, the experience to this whiskey that's almost got a green aspect to it, even though it's matured, fully matured, more than matured, 25 years old. But I think they've kind of played well. And I think that green aspect on the taste of the Scotch actually goes along with kind of the name. It is kind of like, grass and sky, outside, outdoors kind of a thing. Island Skye, you know what I mean? I love Skye or whatever. But yeah, I think it goes well. The only thing I would do to make this pairing better, that tobacco does need to dry out a little bit. It is a little bit wet.
Yep.
I'm having a hard time keeping it lit, but
very much, yeah.
Other than that, I think it's been a good pairing.
So one thing that caught me is the nose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, smell it. And it's and if I did smell it before I tasted it. Yeah. But what's catching me now for whatever reason is after I've tasted it is the nose on it, I feel like is, a lot of burning wood, maybe even peat, like a lot of, and smells like it's going to be real peaty. And then I take a drink. That's not there anymore, which is very confusing. Yeah. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, you're almost gearing up for something, and then
exactly.
You're pleasantly surprised.
I'm like, the nose is, I'm probably not gonna like this. And then I had some. I was like, oh yeah, this is great, Yeah. So
I would agree
that was weird.
The nose is more scotchy than the flavor.
Yes.
Like in terms of thinking about Scotch as smoke and peat, then the nose is scotchier, or the nose is more Islay than it actually is in flavor.
So the bark is worse than its bite.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you talk about the tobacco with it, right? The smell of that tobacco is that toast, right? That like fresh out of the toaster kind of toast.
Kind of graham crackerish.
Well, more like burnt, not in a bad way, but like burnt toast. Like that smell like fresh burnt toast. This is like putting butter and cinnamon sugar on that toast. Like that smell with the flavor of this is almost like, Steve, I know you said it wasn't sweet to you, and it's not sweet to me. It's more like buttery with a little bit of semi-sweet. Like we're not full on cinnamon sugar, but we got a little bit of butter kind of mixed in with that, and which is really nice. Like the room note of the tobacco with this is like, man, this is really nice.
I do get that, but the sweet buttery kind of
Yeah. So I'm on the podcast and I listen to the podcast and I'm in the club and stuff like this. But when you guys describe stuff like that, that's one of the things I enjoy most about the club is being able to like put words
right
to what these flavors are.
Yeah. So you say that, I'm like, oh yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. Now I don't have to try to figure out how to say this.
I was trying to figure out what it was, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's not that sweet. And I wish I would tried it before. And I was like, oh, this is burnt toast. Oh, this is like butter and like cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon sugar on top, and it's like, it's nice.
Sometimes you just got to tweeze it out.
Yeah.
So it's made by a company called Ian Macleod.
Macleod, like Highlander.
Yeah.
Goes all the way back to that.
There we go. Circle back.
Calling them Macleod. There can only be one.
In terms of Scotch, it's relatively new. It's 1933.
I love that you said
I know.
it's relatively
That is new for
Scotch.
They're
It's
practically
whiskey,
infants.
started in the 1900s. I mean,
Are they new for America? Like, it sounds weird to say that, but like, is America a newer market for them?
For the world.
so they didn't. I don't know when they came into the U.S. in terms of that. They've Scotch is hard to figure out a lot of history stuff for because one, they all like the distilling part doesn't matter as much. It's more the blending. So there's lots of stuff in here that may or may not be owned by the same company.
Right.
There may be other
They
people's
acquire
stuff.
barrels and whatnot.
They mix things up. That part of it doesn't matter as much. And so it's a different type of history for them. And even with this distillery, the original started in 1933. It then went away. A Russell family, not different than the Russells that we know.
Jimmy Russell.
Yeah.
Distant relative.
The Scotch relative.
They started a bonding company or whatever where they just bought and sold whiskeys, and then they bought the Macleod company in the 1960s, and so that's the name kind of came back or got some prominence to it from that. But this brand, Isle of Skye, came out. This version or whatever, this thing came out in 1963 at that same time, but it's Ian Macleod's family recipe. So it goes back to the 30s. And so it's a little bit like what bourbons do, where they'll find some sort of a connection to something in the past and make this thing and call it a recipe, call it a whatever it may be. So there may be some of that going on with that in terms of the family history kind of thing. They don't like latch onto it. It's just kind of a thing that they mentioned that this is a family history, secret family recipe from Ian Macleod and his family in the 30s, but the bottle came out in the 60s. So 63 is where this kind of came out. And it's mainly out of this Russell family. So this family that just does a lot of buying and selling, and they kind of took it over and brought this back as a thank you to the Ian Macleods when they bought them.
So anybody that looks down on blended Scotch, I mean, it has its place.
Yes, absolutely.
But so one of the reasons I asked when it came to the American market is it's not very typical to have a 700 milliliter bottle.
Correct. Yeah, that's a weird size.
That's fairly common going from American to Europe. Like they have to adjust bottle sizes.
It's like the metric system and everything.
Right.
Everything's
So like
different, right?
They have to adjust the bottle size. They can't sell a fifth over in Europe. So like Beam can't sell fifths of their stuff over there. They have to change it to something else, and it's normally lower, which makes me wonder how new are they to the market, or do they just say, hey, we're just going to do one bottling, doesn't matter the size.
Everybody should be on the same system.
Right. It's all going to be the same.
They don't even know what a fifth is over there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can explain if they need to.
I'm looking back, they've bought a lot of brands between like 2003 and 2016 or so. So I'm looking at that to see like, oh, when did they buy a brand that is in the US? To say, oh, that's probably when it came to the US. And I'm not really seeing anything until like maybe 2016 or so. Sorry. Rephrase that. 2006. That was when they bought Tamdu Tamdu. The bottle looks a little bit familiar to me.
Okay.
So maybe 2013.
Okay.
That would be, but that's just a guess based on just seeing when they acquired different companies. So who knows when they may have brought it to the U.S. But also, you said that this one was kind of a specialty thing that they brought in. Have you seen this on the shelves anywhere
No,
else?
I've never seen this anywhere
So
else.
maybe it's not for sale in the Americas normally.
Yeah.
The Americas.
I do appreciate
that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think it's a winner, though, right?
I think it is.
I think so.
I'm
too.
not disappointed with it.
I'm a big fan of this bottle. Yeah, it's a good next step after Speysides to this is you still have that green that you're talking about for the Speysides and stuff, but it also has a little bit more to it. It kind of has continued to grow, and so
It's good to hear somebody that's not super into Scotch like Micah say, this is better than I expected because it's Scotch.
yeah.
This is good whiskey and it's Scotch, kind of a thing. So I think it's something to think about as we progress through this series.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Next one should be very interesting because it's a single malt and finished,
Not blended and finished.
it's rested in something very different,
Yeah.
which is I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for it.
Perfect. All right.
Me
Till
too.
next time.
Next time.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.